Welcome back, everybody, to the King of the Hill Day 3. Woohoo! I hope you've been enjoying yourselves. I've been enjoying myself here. I always have a bit of a dance, a bit of a boogie. And we're just getting ready now for SaSe, who will be taking on Hyun. Can he be stopped? Can Hyun be stopped? He had 14 kills in the IPL Fight Club last year. And he's already got 3 in our tournament, rivaling Grubby's 3 wins from day 1. They are now equal at the top of the playing board. If it does come down to it, for example, as Hyun was to lose 0-2 now, I'd have to confirm without a BC after, but I think Grubby would probably still be the leader of all, because Grubby didn't drop a single map in those 3 games he won, compared to Hyun, who did drop a map. So we'll have to confirm that. Add a BC, confirm it with me. If Hyun loses 0-2 now and ends his streak at 3 games, because he lost a map, does that put Grubby as number 1?
I don't know.
Okay, so getting on to the next game, SaSe is going to be taking on Hyun. And like I said, can he be stopped is the real question now. And I'm very, very, very thrilled about watching and casting SaSe's games. He's been underground Fight Club in Taiwan. He's been in Asia forever for StarCraft 2. And actually, in SaSe's entire RTS history, he's always been in Asia. Even in Warcraft 3, he lived in China. StarCraft 2, he spent the majority of his time in Asia, living in Korea in a Startail house. He's in Taiwan now with TT Apollos, I think it is, isn't it?
I thought it was...
No, it's Gamma Bears.
Gamma Bears,
yeah, Gamma Bears. So he's with Gamma Bears at the moment. And he's just training. I spoke to him on Skype, and all he does is play. So we're about to find out if he can take Hyun down. So before we jump into this game momentarily, I just want to once again thank the subscribers to the Good Studio channel. You guys have been amazing. We had a lot of fun on Beat the Studio the other day, even though we lost a lot of games of StarCraft. And thank you just because it supports what we're doing here. You know, this $2,000 tournament, which we're given $500 a day, every time we're doing these days, is because of the subscribers. So if you want to support future content like the King of the Hill series, the Heart of the Swarm King of the Hill series, subscribe to the channel and it will give you more stuff like this, which is always great. This has been an amazing tournament. For me personally, because I'm involved in it, this is going to be one of my memories for the Heart of the Swarm beta, so I hope it's going to be yours as well. Is it yours, Ada BC? Will you remember this? In 2 years' time, when you look back to the Heart of the Swarm beta, you'll remember the King of the Hill series, depending on who wins.
What?
If Hyun just goes out and wins everything, I won't remember anything.
No, I will remember that. We'll make it more memorable. Just watching Hyun kill nerds after nerd after...
Nerd after nerds after nerds. Alright, what's the first map?
Cloud Kingdom.
Oh, surprise! Alright, so Cloud Kingdom's going to the first map here. SaSe, the challenger, is now picking the first map against Hyun here, so he's giving it the best possible shot to bring the king down. And I'm ready to jump into map number 1. So if you guys are ready... I'm going to be ready too, as Mingles the cat is jumping on keyboards and messing things up. And I hope you're ready, Scriff, for the best production of overlays that we've ever seen. I'm ready to begin the game. Out of BC, hit the button, make sure the players are ready.
I'm waiting on the players. So they're in the lobby, they're ready.
Who's not ready then?
Okay, Hyun said he's ready. I'm just making sure it's us. You never want to start a game with the player not ready. So
I'm wearing my pajama bottoms,
good.
by the way, everyone. Added BC is as well. Actually tucked into my sock.
And just so everyone does know, all these games are completely live. We're not doing replays or any shenanigans like that.
Yeah. Nice aviators you got there. And oh, shit. Shit gets real here at the Good Studio without Added BC's observing. Alright, it's time to jump in. Look at that. SaSe Barcode Protoss playing against TSL Hyun. Up here in the top right. I said it again, TSL. It is Quantix Hyun. New addition to the Quantic team. Is a GSL finalist at Quantic Hyun if you want to follow him on Twitter. And just recently got himself back to where he belongs and requalified for KOTH, beating down arch nemesis MVP Sniper in Code A round of 24. And down here we have SaSe. And we have his style here, something brought in to the overlays. His very solid builds, very crisp, clean build. Something that him and Naniwar have really focused on is nailing gas timings down and very micro focused. And of course his Twitter's there at Hello SaSe. 25 years old, Kim Hammer, or 26, I kind of didn't see that. 25, 26. Anyway, we have a pylon in the main base. This is something quite common. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was a gateway opening as well. This is something that's become really, really common in Heart of the Swarm for pressure, for scouting, to keep Zerg away from just going towards 3 hatcheries fast, but with the amount of probes queued up, it is going to be Nexus first. So, by the looks, or it could be a later Forge, but we'll see. It looks like Nexus first at the moment. So, with the Nexus first here, he will be building the Forge inside the main base to hide the +1 attack and from when it's being made. A good Zerg player, through seeing when the +1 attack is made, can start to identify what you're doing. For example, if it's not made straight away, they know your gas has gone into tech. If it is researched straight away, they know you're most likely looking to try and do a bit of +1 attack pressure. So we'll have a Nexus down here, and then a pylon immediately next, and then the Forge, sorry, next inside the main base. Doesn't want to be too late on that Forge. And then a pylon on the low ground next to his Nexus, and then he'll build a cannon, a gateway, and a cybercore for a wall off. So that should be the plan of SaSe, with the Forge coming up next. And that's his opening here. So just a standard Nexus first opening here. A little bit of a twist with the placement of the Forge compared to spawn and port into hatcheries. Standard opening from Hyun here. And we've seen in Hyun's history, man, he's got a really good game against pro. He's a freaking amazing player in general. But he has taken a relatively early gas here, which SaSe is going to go in, spot, and scout, and realize there's a threat of early roaches or anything early is possible here. He will be sending out double probe scouts. I don't mean like 2 probe scouts, but that same probe will probably go home now. Try and make it home at least. Then go out again to check for the 3rd, check for drone count, check for streaming roaches, and so on and so on. And behind that, we have a single gas coming down. A second one should be taken in a couple of seconds' time. And a double gateway wall off here, just because he's not quite complete. Doesn't want to let Lings in. And this is what I talked about with SaSe not getting a fast second gas. The second gateway will be cancelled for a cybercore. He just doesn't want to let Lings in, which is what that's for. Second gas started, and only 2 in the single gas here. So he's not mining that much gas at the moment. He's got quite a bit of minerals banking, or will have minerals building, should I say, with his build. And this is what I talked about earlier. Him and Nani were very close friends, or old close friends when they used to live together. You always used to do this, really refine their builds. But with that early gas here out of BC, we have a very, very, very fast layer here. That's a 4-minute 40 layer. The fastest possible layer you can get, really, off 2 base. And the only thing this can really mean for me, I'm trying to... let me just give it a thought. It's not Mutalisk play. It very well could be Nidus play. And with that Queen making its way across here, we actually could be seeing some Overlord, Drone Spine, Rush, Thingy, anything, actually. I'm actually a little bit pickled now. I'm starting to think about it with that Queen making its movement across there. Definitely going to be spreading creep for sure. Maybe that's the only reason for it. To spread creep on the 3rd, you know? And to get creep moving across the other side of the map. Lag attack, says Vazicast, who is casting this in Italian. And we have Todd casting in French.
And I think there's also
Polish?
Either Russian or Polish or one of the both. So
okay.
Feel free to check all that out. But yeah, this Queen's still heading across, and he also did see the
+1.
The +1 upgrade. So I'm quite curious. 2 additional gases, so possibly it'll be some kind of Swarm Host play, maybe?
I don't think Swarm Host play. He hasn't got enough gas to do that. He hasn't got upgrades. Shut up, out of BC, just because you think that it's coming. Shut up. Hasn't happened yet. Here comes the Overlord to spread creep, and he will be putting a creep tumor down there. Looks like the Mothership Core is just going to go across and scout for the 3rd base, and trying to get a feel of what's coming. You think Swarm Host? Swarm Host, obviously, I'm not cutting them out in the matchup. Very fast Swarm Host, though, if that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
Very, very fast here. Obviously, very good against gateway attacks that don't have observers. We'll see. As we do have the Twilight Cuts are coming down. SaSe seems to be playing a normal-ish game here with +1 attack. God, out of BC. So almost it is. Sorry. I eat my own words. 3 drones, though. Spine crawlers. With Swarm Host behind them. Interesting. Interesting. And SaSe is going to be... unless he gets over there right now... Spore crawlers for detection here against the obviously coming observer, but it's 2 queens, and then he's going to put Swarm Host here, so it's like a containment.
Yeah.
With Swarm Host. It's something I haven't seen before. No third base has been spotted here. Very early Swarm Host, very early containment, Spore Spine, and Swarm Host being made here. So, interesting play coming out here by Hyun, and this is great to see developing, but Sassi doesn't want to just let this happen, but he's not going to be able to stop it once he's Swarm Host get in there.
But he is finding out relatively quickly that this is happening, so we'll see what he wants to do, and actually immediately throws down the Robo Bay. And actually a Dark Shrine.
So the Dark Shrine is going to be for counterattacks here. He's going to be... It's interesting that he goes for both, Dark Shrine and Colossus, but he knows he's going to need Colossus. He's actually building a lot of cannons not to lose his front wall here. But yeah, so what's going to happen is that with the Dark Shrine, it is a little bit cheaper now, 100 gas cheaper in Heart of the Swarm. He will use it for counterattacks. Because there's no detection, minimal economy at home for Hyun as well. He won't use them aggressively here, and then he's going to look to do damage, and then look to hold on with Colossus, and then slowly break out with Colossus. That's his plan at the moment, with the structures he's got out. But he's got time to buy. He's still got time to buy here, which is why he's added on more cannons. The first Colossus is on its way. Thermal Lance is also being made. He's going to have to spend all his Chrono Boosts in there. He's going to have to stop probe production now because he's going to just overbuild probes when he doesn't need to. And this is the way that SaSe is going to deal with it. He does have a pylon out on the map, I think, as I can see that red dot, but this is going to be a difficult little hold here. Cannons coming down to the high ground, Mothership Core coming back as well. So the Dark Shrine is about to complete. Here comes the counterattack. And if he sends like 3 DTs, he can snipe a hatch. He can snipe the layer easily. The infestation of it, the spawn, anything. And then all he's got to do now is buy time to hold on. So really fast thinking here by SaSe. And this is what he's looking to do. The DT is going to be almost impossible to see. And we are seeing the Time Warp coming down and slow this down to get the Colossus out. And in come the DTs, and they just... Is he going drones? Is he going layer? What is he doing? We'll find out momentarily here. The Colossus is out. He's going for drones, and this is going to sting. There's the DT on the natural, DTs in the main. Obviously being made back at home. There's nothing really to defend apart from a single Swarm Host. And now with the Colossus out there and more to be, SaSe doesn't need to take a third anymore. As mentioned, yes, he's been contained from his third base, but does he need a third base if he puts his opponent's drone count to 20? No is the answer. So all he needs to do is build up like the 3-4 Colossus. Once he gets to that critical amount of Colossus, he will overwhelm the amount of Swarm Hosts that are out there. And then eventually, we just win the game. So that's his plan, and it's a pretty good one, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, taking out the Infestation Pit, almost getting the spawning pool here. And Hyun isn't even mining from his main base.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of drones, he's lost all his queens, and now 2 Colossus starting to get scary. The Observer there, spotting, doesn't want to lose it, and with an Immortal Zealots and Cannon Stalker supporting this, SaSe is going to do this, I think. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he's played against a similar style there. He's breaking through, maybe not enough to go all the way through because he did lose like 3 Zealots and a Stalker there. But with another Colossus coming in and another warping of Zealots here coming up to 1,000 minerals, he's about to smash this through. And once he smashes through, there is nothing, I repeat, nothing, I repeat, nothing, I repeat, nothing to defend against Colossus. Nothing out of BC.
Nothing. I got it, Apollo.
And then what does he do? What happens in StarCraft when there's nothing to defend with?
You say GG?
You say GG and you get out of the game. And that's what we're going to be seeing here. SaSe, excellent play here. Really solid composure. Great thinking on the fly. There's already a pylon out there. He's researching Blink. Doesn't need to take a third. He needs to go kill Hyun. And SaSe comes out with a firing game number 1 here. And I really am ecstatic to see what he brings for the rest of the series here. You know, this is an almost done deal.
Yeah, I would say this is a done deal right here. I mean, he's got 58 probes, and Hyun has 61 supply.
Yeah, it's over. There's no way he's stopping Colossus. He just expands there because he can. These Swarm Hosts, they got no upgrade. The Locusts, sorry, they got no upgrades. Of course, the Swarm Hosts do have the extended duration upgrade, whatever that's called.
Enduring Locusts?
Enduring Locusts. But they don't have any, you know, range upgrades, carapace upgrades. They're all going to die. GG, well played. SaSe fighting.
Yeah, man. SaSe looking in top form there.
You're looking really good there. So SaSe picks up game number 1 against Hyun. Now, Hyun's dropped 2 maps in quick succession here today compared to the 4-0 he took in maps in Thursday's games. Wow. SaSe. And remember, the two other players left is Glon, the 17 American Zerg. Very happy to have him in the tournament, and he's also very excited to be in the tournament too. Training, specifically for this. And of course, the big daddy dog at the end of the day, see my repetition there, is Polt. Polt is going to show us some skills. He's actually got a very good... I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're not
I don't
sure,
know if he's got 2 accounts or not. He hasn't got that many games under his Polt account. He may have 2 accounts, but he also may be busy with school. Is he in school yet? He is, isn't he?
I think so.
He's only got 70 wins, or 70, 80 wins and 20 losses on his main account, compared to like people like 4GG who got 600 games. So I'm not sure if he's got a second account or not. He may do. He may stream with his TSL Polt one and practice on his barcodes, you know. So I'm not sure. But either way, it looks like we're going to jump into map number 2, which is going to be out of BC.
Newkirk City.
Newkirk City. All right. So Newkirk City is going to be map number 2. It's now Hyun's turn to pick the map and going up against SaSe. We'll see if he can turn the series around, or is SaSe going to become our new king here? Very possible. The way he was playing, that was a really good game from SaSe. And, you know, we mentioned it in the last show, is that Heart of the Swarm is giving a new breath of fresh air for a lot of players that have got a lot of skill. I think it, to be honest, I think it increases the skill cap a little bit compared to Wings of Liberty, because there's just a lot more things to do.
Yeah, definitely. It also kind of favors certain players who are better at kind of innovating, as opposed to players who are more reliant strictly on their mechanics. And SaSe, he kind of falls into that category of someone who would rather play the game his way, as opposed to someone who wants to just get 100 replays of the best in the world and then just copy them. And
try to play it out mechanically, that's true. So it looks like we are almost ready to get into this next game.
Yeah, just waiting on Hyun here is pending. I think he may have ran to the washroom or something, but he should be in a minute.
Well, in between this little break, you guys can, of course, pop over to Twitter. You can go on your keyboard. I'll do it for you, actually. Left hand down, Control T. Then load up a new tab. Then you type T. And because, actually, you might use Team Liquid more than Twitter. TW. And then it will come up with Twitter. You press Enter. And then you search at the top right at Quantic Hyun and follow him and say, decent set. SaSe is going to beat you, though. And then you can go over to at Hello SaSe and say, you're sexy, man. And then come back and start watching this again, because we are almost ready to get this series underway. A lot of money been spent out so far out of BC. $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing up to $1,500 today, thanks to you guys subscribing to the channel. So very, 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 very thankful for that. And yeah, let's just continue to support the good studio and all we do with StarCraft 2. There's going to be a bit less StarCraft 2 in the month of March at the good studio.
Traveling?
Because there's a lot of traveling going on for us, which isn't announced anywhere for anything yet.
No, it's not.
Nothing is announced.
Actually, that's true.
So we're doing stuff in March, which means we won't be at the studio. So, I mean, the thing is, it's a process of elimination, really, isn't it? If I just said we're busy in March, people are going to be like, well, what's in March then? And you kind of figure it out eventually. But I didn't say anything.
Some very big Heart of the Swarm tournaments.
Yeah, so I'll be doing some stuff in March. And won't be at the studio as much, but there's going to be a lot of other content from the good studio.
And when we're back, we'll still be doing Beat the Studio, all that jazz.
Yeah, Beat the Studio for the subscribers will happen every Wednesday, or at least for the short time being.
Isn't it Thursdays?
No, it's Wednesdays.
Thursdays.
Thursday.
Full of Steam is actually on Friday, which is the little game review show that gets done here.
Alright, so down here, of course, do have Quantic Hyun. 14 IPL Fight Club wins. He's got 3 here, and we'll see if he can get a 4th against SaSe. Down here is the blue Protoss, but red overlay. Whatever's wrong with it. Of course, there he 3-0'd TL Snoot in the MLG Hot Showdowns. Living in Asia for the majority of his StarCraft 2 career, and he does love his hats. If you've ever been to an MLG, you ever seen him at an after party, you know he loves his hat. And he's got one hat. That one white top hat kind of thing he has.
Fedora, is it not?
I don't even know what type it is, mate. It's just a hat. And he does love his hat. And he also loves his StarCraft 2 and Protoss. So we'll see if he's going to be able to 2-0 Hyun. It would be quite a big thing if he was to be able to 2-0 Hyun. But then it does boil down to, you know, how much has Hyun played in HotS compared to Wings Liberty at the moment, compared to SaSe, who's been hardcore in Heart of the Swarm, which is why we got him in here. He's very eager to do well in Heart of the Swarm this year. So that's another good reason to go follow him on Twitter, not only to call him sexy, but to wish him good luck for this year and follow his progress. I'm sure he'll start streaming soon enough. He was always a big streamer before, but probably just laying low for the initial starting months. Probably doesn't make that much money on Twitch or something and says, well, what's the point streaming for now? I'm just going to practice and get better and then show you on my stream in the future what he can really do.
Yeah, and he's actually still teamless, right? So,
yeah, he's still teamless. So any teams out there, looking for a new player, SaSe is available. He's hot, single, and available, and looking for a new team. But we do have a different approach from both players this time, and Hyun's got the super end of the stick. Like, really good build here. I mean, he actually opened up Hatchery first here to most likely counter a Nexus first again. But he's as long as he takes gas relatively soon after scouting here, he's going to be in good shape, because Hatchery first against a gateway opening is really good. Really strong economy-wise, depending on how much money is thrown into SaSe for harassment. A third hatchery is not actually that strong here. It's now become a little bit weaker of a build, because now he doesn't build all the queens he wants off 2 hatcheries straight away. He isn't going to have a solid defense, but upon seeing that Zealot, now he will start to. He's got gas coming down as well upon seeing no expansion. Is going to keep the third up. No need to cancel it. You can keep it up, because if you do defend what's coming, then you're just going to be miles and miles ahead. But he will have to get gas out fast. He will have to forget about that third for now. Like, no queen up there, no drones up there, just unit production from here on out. But SaSe is building a sentry behind it and is going to expand. The advantages and disadvantages of this style from SaSe is his economy is a little bit behind, because he obviously isn't opening up with a super fast Nexus. He does get a faster mothership core. He does have faster warp gate tech. He does have faster options to get a Stargate or something. And that's kind of the advantages. But good micro by... Is that a really good micro, actually? Look at that. Killed every link.
He did indeed. 4 for 1.
Good micro. Was always going to lose to the other two, but really good micro there. He's not overreacting in terms of defense. He's got his speed down. He's still in gas, surprisingly, actually. Though I think he'll take out now. He's just in with 1. And we'll see what SaSe is going to be doing with his faster tech here. I mean, that's basically the advantage he played into here. A bit of light harassment is another advantage, of course. Getting out the sentries really early on gives him the use of hallucination too. So he doesn't, because he can successfully scout. But now he's gone up to 3 gateways and a forge. And we'll see how he's going to branch here. Remember, if he's going to use the Mothership Core and Hallucinating Phoenix to do some scouting, he doesn't really need a fast robo down. Unlike the older style where you used to get an observer relatively fast to scout and find out what's going on. He's going to have quite a lot of clean information here. And then we'll start to build a bit of a reactionary image for himself and how he's going to play this game out. But the Mothership Core is going to make its way across there. 1 queen beats 1 Mothership Core. So he just pokes, he sees it, and now upon seeing that third base, he's going to start to see the creep spread come out. What's his reaction going to be here? Because that's another thing and advantage that he's looking at is... Oh, sees 5 sentries. Moving out now. He can always recall back with the Mothership, remember? So I think this is going to be a push out and a recall, to be honest. Forcing a lot of lings here. And it's not even that. He actually never committed past the front line. It was just a small jab movement out here, and he immediately comes back. Could have been a recall, but either way, he's still forced 20 lings, which are doing 0 in this game. They can take map control. That's a bit sloppy, though.
Yeah.
First mistake of the series, really, from SaSe. To be honest, he played his game 1 out quite well. That's a big mistake there. But yeah, he did force 20 lings out. He's not looking to do anything here. He's getting Twilight Council, getting +2. He's only at 42 probes at the moment. Will continue probe production. He's getting another Mothership Core as well. And there comes the Robo down. And he will take this fight. Absolutely. A couple of force fields may not have been needed. But he did kill a couple of lings here. But Hallucinating Phoenix have scouted that gas has been taken on this third as well. So he knows that the opponent is teching rather fast. But SaSe seems to be playing a relatively slow plan here. Just looking towards taking the third soon enough. And chilling out with his Mothership Core sentries and +2 blink. Surprised that no Immortal Productions... sorry, he hasn't even got the Robo finish yet. Quite sure he'll start some Immortal production very shortly. Depending on what he scouts with his Phoenix. If he sees a Hydra Den, he'll start the Robo Bay immediately. If he doesn't, he sees Roaches. Sees drones, which is always a little bit scary because they're always droning and it does become difficult. But he is looking for tech. He sees one gas not being taken in the main base, so he knows that his opponent's not teching too much, which means it should be Ling Roach. But a counterattack's got in here, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage in the main base into the probe line. As Zealot is warped in, does have +1, but surrounded immediately, and that's a bit of an annoyance there from SaSe. Another little mistake here combined with the Mothership core earlier on. All his probes not mining, and that's going to hurt because that's a lot of mining time now. That's not money being banked. That's not army being built. That's not defense being set up for 11 Roaches that are being made. And 11 Roaches with speed, 12 Roaches, 14. I don't really think that SaSe can hold a third now because of that loss of mining time. He's used energy on the Nexus, which is, I think, an overusage. Didn't really need that, I don't think, out of BC. And now I think he's going to lose his thirds. And without that third, he goes back to 2 bases versus Hyun's 3. And, that's okay forceful as long as he doesn't lose the sentries. I mean, if he had an entrance for the Zealots, it would be good. But yeah, he does slow a lot of these Roaches and kill a lot of them off. But still, Roach Speed's about to finish, doesn't want to lose this. And now he sees him, he's going to have to force it well here. Mothership Core does not have energy for the Photon Overcharge, and this third Nexus is definitely under danger here with all these Lings and Roaches coming. SaSe is going to have to force field himself inside the main base, and as soon as that happens, the third will just go down here. So as soon as he gets locked out, which he is going to be, then Hyun can just turn around and kill the third. But it looks like he's looking to put pressure on up this front, but he definitely wants to go back for that third. And if he kills this third, which is what I thought would happen, this is bad news. And behind this, we have the Spire on the way. So not only now is he down a base, because of mistakes. This is all because of mistakes that SaSe's lost this third, by the way. Losing the Mothership Core early. Would have had more energy early. Using the Photon Overcharge on the Nexus. Second Nexus. Wasting the energy he didn't need. Letting Lings run into his main and natural that slowed him down. Pylon blocked at 92 here, roughly. All these things are building up and slowing SaSe down. And now we have the Spire on the way. We have the Hydrogen on the way. With the amount of gas and the upgrades and the Hydrogen, I think it's actually going to be Hydras here. And the Roaches are going to break through. Force field. The one sentry trying to get walked in, but it's such a pain. And well, Hyun is just smashing SaSe down here. And these Stalkers, they do have +2, they do have Blink, but the Roaches are now expendable because he's not really looking to keep on them. They have Burrow, they have Burrow movement, there's no Observer around. That can be incredibly frustrating, but we're definitely going to be... Is that 67 drones? Oh, it's 97 for a minute. 67 drones. I think we're going to see Hydras here because the composition. Blink is done, Guardian Shield is down, +2 is down. Going Meatless doesn't make sense here. It has to be Hydras. Hydras will smash this once they get +2, which they have on the way here. And he has seen the Robo Bay as well. So if he needs the Spire, he immediately is going to go over to Corruptors here. So Hyun is reading this game well, playing well into it, and I think he has the best setup to tie this series here out of BC. Yeah,
just finding those little holes and really exploiting them to the best of his ability. And I mean, SaSe, he's got no money. Once again, doesn't have much buffer in terms of supply, and is just constantly pinned back here. And he needs a third base, or he needs to go try and kill his opponent. And both of those two options aren't really looking like they have a great outcome.
So what SaSe has to do, as you said, take a third. As soon as he attempts that, he dies to Hydras. That's how this game will play out. There's no other way. Unless he sits back on 2 bases to build Colossus and allow Hyun to take the entire map, to go Hive, to do anything he wants. That's the reality of this game here, unfortunately. And Hyun knows that. Hyun knows that SaSe will have to move to take a third. And there goes the probe. He's going to try. He's going to build a pile on the low ground to start doing stuff. If he goes for an attack, that also gets shut down. 160, 170 supply. I mean, he's 102 to 73. Is SaSe going to even bother to try to play from behind here to build a third? It doesn't look like it. He's going to move out here. And this is going to get absolutely squished. And as the Hydras roll in, Hydra DPS, Lings, Roaches, Time Warp coming down from SaSe, who says, oh crap, I'm in trouble. And he is in trouble because the Hydras are coming in. They are not here to mess around. The Stalkers do have Blink, they do have +2, but the amount of production, the amount of lava, the amount of units, these +2 Hydras are going to kill everything here. And the income is insane. 2,200 for Hyun per minute here. compared to 1,000 per minute. That's only like 5 to 6 additional Stalkers per minute coming into the fight compared to 1 million other units from Hyun here. And Hyun's going to take this fight, will trade off absolutely. Even if he loses this fight, he doesn't care, because the amount of income he has will support another army in an instant. And SaSe, because of the small mistakes, because of these small leaks, because of the exploitation from Hyun, SaSe is going to drop this game here as the Stalkers blink, micro their heart out. It doesn't matter. GG. And Hyun ties the series up, fighting back like he did with his boxing gloves. IPL is fighting back here to try and stay king of the hill. So we're going to be jumping into game number 3 in a couple of minutes' time. So I think that game was, I mean, I was going to go over the game a little bit, but kind of did it at the end there. Just mistakes from SaSe, unfortunately.
Yeah, but overall, I really liked his build. I liked his opening. I liked his style there. I really like those gateway openings, because now that you don't have to research hallucinate, you can just start scouting so much earlier and start responding to what your opponent so much earlier. And as you said, you're not tied to Robo. You don't have to go Robo like
Super
that
way.
every...
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people used to do, actually. I mean, the old style used to be... so you go, let's say you got 1 gateway into an expansion, then go up to about 4 gateways to protect yourself, and then the Robo and Twilight Council usually comes down at the same time. Robo to scout, Twilight Council to continue upgrading, and so on. But now you don't need to get that Robo rushed down. You do need to get it down before you take a 3rd, but it depends on how you want to play. You don't need it to scout is the most important thing. You do need it for the key composition, to build that key composition for your army. Immortals against Roachling, like going up to Colossus against Swarm Host, Colossus against Hydra. But because of the hallucinated Phoenix, as you said, you can actually scout Hydra, you know, Spire, Roachling, and SaSe did scout really well in this game, but he didn't stop the simple mistakes. So that's what kind of cost him. So we're going to be jumping into game number 3 here. The map is SaSe's choice, almost like Hyun. What do I think it is?
What do you think it is? It's Alkaline Waste. That's what it is.
That's what it is. That is what it is.
That's
so let's
what
see
it
what
is.
can happen here. And we're about to jump into game number 3. So I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday evening here at the Good Studio. I'm in my pajamas, chilling out, casting some StarCraft. Maybe you guys are as well. What I do miss and not have right now is a cup of hot chocolate. Is Adebisi's ready to go? I'm ready to go. You look such a tool, Adebisi.
Take that back.
Take that back. Actually, Adebisi always observes with his sunglasses on. Always. Always.
You know, I have a pair of like glasses that have no prescription, just if I want to wear glasses to look like more intelligent.
Really?
Yeah.
I have this fake accent where I sound more intelligent.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had that.
All right. Into the game we are. It's currently 1-1 between these two guys. There's a best of 3 for $125 and the chance to continue your run in the King of the Hill Heart of the Swarm Series tournament. Down here in the bottom right, it is, of course, Quantix Hyun. GSL finalist. His real name is Hyun, and he uses that as his ID. Up against the barcodes of Kim Hammer at Hello SaSe, 25 years old. Started this series with a bang. Something went wrong in game number 2, and I'm sure he knows everything that went wrong. And he's going to have to up his game here if he wants to be able to compete on the level of a GSL finalist. Hyun is probably, and if you're looking at Wings of Liberty, one of the best top 5 Zergs at the end of StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty, at the era of that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Where you got Startail Life, Sniper, Lenok, Hyun, you know, these guys are the top 5.
The young guns.
Young guns. Those are the 5 young guns of StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. But it is all about to change, which is why we have players like Ghostu who's doing very well here. We've got players like Galon, who's actually coming up next for you guys to see how these do. SaSe, of course, had a pretty successful Wings of Liberty career. If we look at Wings of Liberty as an older career now, and Heart of the Swarm is a new. He played very well in many different MLGs, had an amazing Zerg killing run at what MLG was it? The Anaheim one?
I want to say you're correct.
I think it was the Anaheim tournament. He had an amazing Zerg killing run. Beat down, you know, some of those top 5 Zergs we talked about, including Lenok. Was it including Lenok? I think he did take down Lenok. Or at least a lot of the top, you know, the best Zerg players, he was bringing them down. You know, don't have stats on hand here, it's just all from memory. But going into this game, we have another gateway opening here from SaSe. And Hyun go and spawn in Port Hatchery. Double gas is the way to play. Double gas is the way to play gateway expansions. Don't have to get into gas straight away, which is what SaSe's not doing. Doesn't need to rush up with gas there. He's only in with 1 to 2. And the reason why he doesn't need to rush out there, because the first bit of gas he's going to make is Warp Gate Research, which is 50. And then depending on if he, with the not going into gas heavily straight away, it might be a Stalker here, because that's only 50 gas. And then after that, once he gets in gas with everything, he'll get a Sentry and expand from there. So he's actually gone double Zealots, actually. So instead of a Stalker, it's double Zealot again.
Yep.
And then he could probably get a Sentry by the time that second Zealot is done, and then just expand from there. Because if he goes for a Stalker after a second Zealot, what happens is that's 125 minerals that's taken away from your Nexus, compared to 50 if you get a Sentry. And of course you start to build that Sentry up energy nice and early, where you can go ahead and get that hallucination out super fast with the first 100 energy, get this Nexus down, start to defend it. But we do have the Zealots actually coming back. Haven't really gone out. SaSe has not scouted yet in this game.
He cancelled his second Zealot then?
He must have, yeah. Cancelled it.
Yeah.
To get a faster Nexus here. He's got no information on Hyun, right?
Well, let's take a peek then.
No information whatsoever here. Mothership core really early. This is for scouting, harassment, defense, or a multi-purpose tool really. We do have the Forge at the front of the wall. And as mentioned, if SaSe wants to be able to beat Hyun, he has to eliminate the mistakes that he made in game number 2 there. Letting run bys in, losing the Mothership core, using the energy on the Nexus when I don't think it was really needed, especially as he's trying to take a third. It was definitely needed to defend a third. But 8 lings are being made. Whether that's just so he can... actually, looking at the map and thinking about the map, 8 lings usually get made at this time to push back any Zealot little Stalker movement out. Because thirds are a little bit more difficult to take on this map for a Zerg. It plays it very similar to Entomb Valley. Usually as a Zerg, you want to be taking this south base, but because of the way that the rocks are, it's a little bit more difficult to have easy access. So usually you're then forced to go and expand up north here. Doesn't make too much of a big difference, but we do have 8 lings out that will start to scout, defend, pressure, all of those things at once. And we do have +1 attack started quite early here for SaSe. There's the 100 energy being used for hallucination. And he does have to warp in 2 more sentries to make sure he doesn't just die to these lings. And hallucination's going to look for that third. And the Mothership core as well. Doesn't want to lose that. And he spots no third down there. And will, of course, go into the main base to look for tech. He's looking for Lair, Evolution Chamber, Roach Warren, and third been spotted by the Mothership core. And that actually picks off Root Tumor. And the Hallucinated Phoenix scouts not that much. He missed the Lair, unfortunately. He may go back in to get it. He should be doing do. And there he does get the Lair scout. So he sees the Lair. He sees 3 gases. And the third base coming down. So hasn't really seen anything at the moment. It's not super fast Lair. He doesn't need to worry about super fast Mutilus or anything. And then the Twilight Council coming down. Definitely +2 on the way very shortly. And he'll probably want to make a movement out with the units he's got just to force pressure on to stop droning completely towards that third that he's just seen come out. He can use recall. He can always come back anyway.
Yeah, precisely. This map is really great for using the recall to attack into that third base. And here we go. Zealot in position. Yeah,
Zealot in position. So he's stopped that what he made a mistake before. But this has actually got a probe with it, and I wonder if he will commit a little bit. Because there's always the mind games of does Sean build units in the first place, but he's got a probe. Is he going to commit to build a pylon? It may just be to fake him out. But he's got to be very careful, of course, not to lose his units. With the Nexus coming down, he's not going to be building any units. So this is a 100% fake. Nexus down there, actually, of all places, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to defend. And the reason why we don't see that third base being taken, because if he wants to defend that third against Roach Lings, he has to fight in the open, rather than an enclosed area. So, surprising choice of third base coming down, but we'll see. As it looks like, the fake worked, he's back, but there are roaches coming. He doesn't want to lose his sentries, actually. He's going to have to recall or force field off, loses one, and he's got to be careful not to lose the rest here as he does get back. But like I said, he's going to be out in the open. He has no immortals, he's got no stalkers. 4 stalkers getting warped in here. And Hyun won't be able to break. I wonder if he shouldn't be able to bring down the third this time. Because of the way that this is played out, SaSe hasn't made the same mistakes as we saw earlier. So, in the second game. So it means he has more units, he has more money, he has a bigger army, he has a better defense, he has energy on the Mothership core, which is why we can't just see Hyun go and break that third like we did previously. But a fourth is about to be taken, which SaSe knows and scouts with that probe. Hydra Den is down, so we're going to have Roach Hydra again from Hyun. This is a very, very strong composition in Heart of the Swarm. The reason why it wasn't strong, Roach Hydra alone in Wings of Liberty, is because the quote-unquote Death Ball was too strong. It beat it up. Colossus couldn't get touched, but with the use of Vipers in Heart of the Swarm, Roach Hydra is very strong. So we are seeing Colossus being built now. Did SaSe scout the Hydra Den?
Indeed he did.
So that's why the Colossus Bay, Robotics Bay is coming down. Changeling also sees that next to the Robotics Bay. And, you know, the Spire's coming down now to build. Corruptors maybe is the first wave. Vipers will be the second wave once the Colossus count gets high. And the trend of tech, how a Protoss should be starting to evolve with their compositions is, yes, they can start on Colossus, but they do have to go to Storm and High Templar fast. Otherwise Colossus just don't, because you need splash damage.
Yep.
Colossus eventually won't do it once Vipers are in the game. So it's okay to start on Colossus, but he has to go to Storm eventually here. But he does have +3 on the way. Very good upgrades from SaSe. +2 and +1 Carapace on the way. Second Robo Bay here. Wow. He's not going High Templar, man.
Yeah, you're correct.
He's with a second Robo, he's staying a heavy Colossus. Heavy Colossus. So Hyun is going to have to be heavy anti-Colossus here. He's going to have to start whacking out those Corruptors, whacking out the Vipers. But imagine now if SaSe can hit a time before Vipers are in the game. If SaSe can hit a time, and that's funny because in Wings of Liberty it was always a time before Hive, right? Before Broodlords. In Heart of the Swarm, I feel that there is a time you can hit before Vipers come out. When it's just Roach Hydra Corruptor. If the Stalkers can target down the Corruptors, the Colossus at high count can do the rest. But with the second Forge coming down, he's obviously not just going to be like 3 base all in. He does have longevity in this game. He's going to start upgrading shields. Why would you get a second Forge when you only need to upgrade armor now? Smart, you're going over to shields. So he will be looking to go over to air eventually. Absolutely playing air. So definitely feeling like he will hit a timing with +3. And then fall back on a 4th base and going over to ships. That seems to be SaSe's plan at the moment. But right now we have Hyun at 200 supply. Out in the open is SaSe. Time Warp is being used. No Colossus yet. And he's going to have to cut this army up well because it's a massive open area. The first Colossus is trying to come in, but he's just caught out in the open. All the force fields are gone. And SaSe's plan, he's not even getting to his plan. The Colossus is trying to do damage. All the units are going down. Oh my god, SaSe. Before +3, before Colossus there, he's just lost the brute force of his army like that. And that is a big blow. He's lost all his sentries. He's lost half his army. That +3 attack can never work now. And he has to fall back defensive. And that gives Hyun the opportunity to do what he likes. And unfortunately for SaSe, why was he out there like that? So wide in the open. You know, maybe he was getting ready to move out with his +3. And then he just, nah. That's all you can say to that, because it was a wonderful plan being constructed together. You could see it all stringing together. You could see the matrix numbers come down, but now he's just going to have to fall back on a 4th base, play defensive, and try to go over to ships to air once he gets his 4th up. But that's really bad news for SaSe, because that gives Hyun the freedom of the world, unfortunately. Do anything he wants now.
Yeah, and he's electing not to tech here. Still no Infestation Pit or 5th base for that matter. So he might just be trying to take that 3rd base out. Yeah,
he's going in. He's got a high corrupt account. He knows he just hurt SaSe's army, so he's going to go in with another big wave here and look to bring SaSe down here. So SaSe's defense has to be spectacular, but losing all those sentries, he's only got 3. He's only got like 3 force fields.
Oh yeah, he's got 5 sentries, but yeah, fresh sentries, low energy.
And the Colossus are going to die so fast. 2 Colossus, he already lost 1 before, and this could be it. SaSe mistakes here in this series is going to knock him down, and Hyun could be picking up his 4th victory here. SaSe's going to have to micro for the love of his game. He does have 2 Immortals doing a lot of damage, and Hyun back at 160 supply, but SaSe does hold on for now. But he no longer can use Colossus. So the next wave is going to be even more difficult unless he gets Storm out in time. That's the only thing that SaSe can actually defend with now. So SaSe is down. If you compare it now to a boxing match. He's on the ropes. He's actually bleeding. He's probably about to faint unless he can get his shit together and get Storm ready. And if Storm's not ready, then the game's over, because no way is he holding on against another push. 16 Hydras. Unless he storms every single bloody one of them. He doesn't have enough gas to start his High Templar count. Oh dear. Oh dear me. Not a lot of sentries. There comes the tech for Hyun, who's looking to brutalize his opponent with the Infestation Pit coming down. Very late in this game, just opting to build lots and lots of units. SaSe needs this Storm. Without Storm, the game is over. Absolutely, he will not hold on again. So this is going to be very, very difficult. Ling upgrades are about to complete. +1 melee and +2 carapace for the Hydras as well. Storm not ready. High Temple being morphed. Cannons set up for defense here. Hyun is coming for another killing blow. Storm, he's not even got enough energy on the High Temple. He's going to have to defend without Storm. And this is going to be difficult. There is no splash damage whatsoever. The Hydras just roll in. They don't have their +2 carapace, but they do have their +2 attack. And that means that everything SaSe has is about to crumble. And he couldn't get Storm out in time. It looks like despite the Immortals trying to live their life out as long as they can, there's no splash damage. SaSe, unfortunately, is going to fall against Hyun here, which puts Hyun up to 4 kills in our tournament. And if history repeats itself, is this guy ever going to lose as he breaks his way into the natural? And SaSe holding on for his dear life here, but another army has been dismantled. He's down 100 supply, and more units are coming in. And SaSe's fighting with everything. He's got 48 Lings. Probes are running for their lives, and SaSe is dropping in supply faster than anything I've seen here. 80 supply, and with these Lings getting into the Stalkers. Oh, Hyun has so many Lings coming. 13 more Hydras behind this as well. Remember, it's not just what you see in SaSe's base, it's what is coming on the minimap and what you see in the production tab. Hive is on its way as well. 23 Hydras. Oh dear, Adabisi. Oh dearie me.
Hyun is just too good, it would seem.
And if SaSe can't beat Hyun, the weight of the world goes on to Glon next in a Zerg vs Zerg, where we saw Hyun absolutely annihilate Gosu User the other day. So this becomes very, very difficult. We still have SaSe in this game trying his best to defend. He's got 4 High Templar out now, but the thing is, he's lost probes, he's lost army, he's got 4 storms very soon in the next 15 seconds or so. 7 High Templar in total, but still, he is struggling very, very hard here. Trying to hold on with everything he's got. Will he be able to make the comeback? If he makes a comeback in this game, it will be the biggest comeback of the King of the Hill series by far.
Yeah.
Because there's SaSe is in trouble, and you can see that 2/2 Hydras, 6 Infestors now. Hive is done. We can see crazy tech come out from him now. We can see the Ultras Cavern come down. Great Aspire can start furthering his upgrades with the use of Hive tech. But he is kind of on... He did establish that 4th base, which helped him survive a little bit longer. He does have Storm, but he just doesn't have quantity right now. The longer the game goes on, the more he will get to that point. But then the question is, can he even defend with the Great Aspire? And that's where the difficult part comes in. There are Storms available, and we are going to see another fight here. Hydra Corruptor. Corruptors using their Corruption spell, which lowers the armor, or increases the attack that they take. Same thing. As the Hydras come in, great feedbacks coming down. Good Storms as well, but 2/2 Hydras, and that's a lot of them as well. And another good Storm coming down by SaSe. Another good Storm by SaSe. The Hydras are starting to fall, but a lot of Lings coming in to almost buffer for the Hydras a little bit so they can get some extra damage done, but they do not have a massive amount in front of them. And SaSe does defend against this, but 27 Roaches. This is the problem when you're fighting uphill against Hyun, who has a massive economy, wave after wave, and he will mold his army composition of each wave to be better against what you have. Of course, SaSe had a very good composition there to deal with light units. He had Zealots, he had Archons, he had Storm. But now the next army coming in is Roaches and Lings, armored units now. What does SaSe have versus armored units? 3 Stalkers, 2 Archons. Not a lot. Storm will help out once again. He doesn't have any Immortals. He's got no Colossus. So this next wave becomes another level of difficulty again. And it'll only get worse because the upgrade's coming in. The Great Aspire on its way as well. And SaSe has built himself up another little army here, but this time it's going to be more difficult as the Lings run straight past. The Roaches get stormed on very heavily, actually. And he's going to beat these Roaches down if they just sit and dance in the storm. And, well, the Lings actually get into the main base, get into the natural. They will bring this down, but another good set of defensive storms there by SaSe. Keeps him alive for longer. But now Adebisi is level 27 of Zerg. Is 10 Broodlords. And the it's like he's like SaSe is running on a treadmill, which is getting harder and harder and harder and harder. And this is just because of the position that he'd put himself in, maybe through being out in the open. You know, good timings by Hyun as well. But here comes level 27, and I'm scared about level 28 because that's going to be even more painful because upgrades are about to complete. Hydra's in the mix as well. We'll see if he can fight this. Broodlords are a little bit naked there. They do have a lot of Roaches and Hydras underneath them, but now SaSe sees it and he's like, oh god. Oh god, how am I going to do this? So here comes the feedback's coming down. He's going to have to try and storm on top of these Broodlords as well. Good storms coming down here by SaSe. He's going to have to blink eventually underneath these units. The Roaches are relatively low because of the storms previously, but look at the amount of damage from Quantix Hyun as he absolutely smashes everything. And level 27 is too difficult from SaSe, who was playing from behind the majority of this game. A valiant effort, good game, well played, good luck. Hyun takes 4 games in a row and now trumps Grubby's 3. Hyun has just banked himself $500.
$500.
$500.
And he has the longest streak by far now.
Longest streak by far. Through the rules of the Invitational, Hyun will be playing the last day at the moment.
Even if he loses.
Even if he loses
nobody,
now.
well, nobody can get a longer streak than 4 since we've only got 2 players left today.
Yeah.
So Hyun will be back tomorrow for sure. Or not, why do I keep saying tomorrow? Today's Sunday. I tried.
He'll be back Thursday for sure. Valiant effort from SaSe. Unfortunately couldn't do it, but now can Hyun be stopped? The 17-year-old American.
ZVZ.
Who has very little international experience. Who has very little tournament experience. Is about to take on a GSL finalist. Is about to take on a 14-time IPL Fight Club hero. Is about to take on the guy that doesn't seem beatable in this tournament. At the end of the day, there is still Pult waiting at the end to take on either one of these players. But our next game is going to be Glon